just going to introduce the palliative care or end-of-life video that we're going to be watching tonight and discussing tomorrow. So let me start with just a little story. About 10 years ago, when I was in my 20s, my boyfriend was diagnosed with terminal cancer. And Mark was a young doctor, just a couple of years out of medical school and residency, so his whole life and career was ahead of him. His death was tragic and traumatic for everyone involved. His families, friends, coworkers, definitely for me. So many of us here have probably experienced death, so we know what a difficult topic it is. The conversations around death and dying are among the most difficult, which is why we tend to avoid having them at all. So in this course, we're reading an entire book about difficult conversations. We're learning about interests, the tension between empathy and assertiveness. We're putting into practice better understanding so we can negotiate with better outcomes, not just in our professional lives, but in our personal lives. I wish I had these tools when I was dealing with Mark's illness and all the difficult conversations that were never spoken. So Mark's death was inevitable. There's nothing we could do about it. But I'm convinced that what we're learning here could actually have helped Mark have a better death. So one quick example, the positions everyone had on his final round of experimental chemo. A conversation might have revealed that Mark didn't really want the chemo. It was brutal. But he agreed to it because he was afraid of letting his family down, making them think he was giving up. A conversation could have revealed that his family didn't want to see him suffer, but they pushed for the extra chemo because they were afraid of making Mark think they were giving up on him. A conversation could have led to value creation. Forget the chemo. Let's focus on what everyone really wants. Less suffering, more quality time together, to say goodbye, and I love you. That's the philosophy of palliative care, which is the subject of the video you'll be watching tonight and discussing tomorrow. Palliative care focuses on making the most of the time we have left. It does this by engaging patients, families, and doctors in the difficult conversations that are necessary for mutual understanding. It explores the interests under the positions. At the Kennedy School, they like to call it listening to the song beneath the words. Palliative care prescribes huge doses of empathy, as it should, but not at the expense of truth-telling assertiveness. So last year, I researched and interviewed some doctors at Massachusetts General who were pioneers in palliative care. And I was a mid-career graduate student at the Kennedy School, and I also took this course last January. So as I sat in this plenary, it hit me. What the doctors are doing at Mass General are exactly what we're talking about here. And I told Professor Manukin about it, and he agreed that this would be a valuable lesson for us to see what they're doing and apply it to our own lives. So my background as a journalist and documentary filmmaker, I went over there and filmed documentary style, an actual negotiation and discussion between a doctor and a dying patient. And nothing was staged, nothing was prepped, so you will see as it actually happened in real time. And then later, we had Professor Manukin and the doctor review the transcript and talk about what went right and what went wrong. And I know a video like this might be difficult for some to watch, so you don't have to watch it alone. And of course, we'll all be together to talk about it tomorrow. And my hope for the video, and all of our hope for the video, is that it'll get you to start thinking about how to apply the framework and lessons we're learning here in the difficult negotiations and conversations that we're going to have throughout the rest of our lives. Thank you.